There's going to be a lot of discussion about the use of force in the Cohen Wiley case in the days to come. A 1-year-old shot dead in his car in Mississippi because his mom had the audacity to go to Walmart for some diapers. They're going to say she stole them. They're going to say she tried to flee. They're going to say that officer feared for their lives. And yet, a 1-year-old is dead over a box of diapers. But then again, I suppose death is inevitable when existence is criminal. See, everyone's going to focus on this individual use of force by one officer, and they're not going to take a look at the bigger picture, the use of force that perpetuates systemic racism, the use of force that makes a box of Pampers so damn expensive that you are presumed to have stolen them because there's no way you could have afforded those. We have criminalized every aspect of Black existence in this country, and now a little boy is dead as a result. I've never had to go to the store and worry about whether or not one of my kids is going to get shot because they needed diapers.
What's happening? So we all know how this is going to play out. We all know how this is going to go. Um, you know, wash, rinse, repeat. So people are going to, we're talking about it for sure. The cops are going to figure out a way to act like it's not a big deal and figure out a excuse to go, hey, it was a good shoot. Unfortunate that a baby died, but hey, we're going to put you on administrative leave or paid leave, and we're going to do our own investigation and find out, oh, oops, my bad. It was just a mistake. Guy shouldn't lose his job and his career for that, right? You know, that's pretty much how that goes. And people are going to say, no. And people are going to bring up, wasn't it a 10-year-old in Mississippi that got ran over and the guy fled the scene and and the kid's dead and he was found not guilty in Mississippi? That happened, right? Recently. So if the cops do it, what? What do you think is going to happen? Um, you're gonna have white people go, oh, well, you shouldn't have been, well, we heard that you were shoplifting, and we heard that you waved the pistol, and why did you, and why did you breathe? And if it was me, I wouldn't have done that. And this is America. If you only follow instructions, hmm they're gonna blame her. Then it's gonna come out, oh, she paid for the stuff, and nobody's gonna go, who called the police on this person for paying for their stuff? Because 9 times out of 10, it was somebody stereotyping a black person. I didn't see it because I saw that recently, where they had a lady do a digital receipt, and they pulled over and pulled it to the side and wanted to shake it down. Well, you stole. It's like, no, but here we go again. In Black America, it's going to be like, okay, we got the 1-year-old, we got the 14-year-old, the 17-year-old is in prison. I brought up the 10-year-old, you know, the guy in Georgia that shot at a birthday party and got a $5,000 bond, you know, and people are going to bring up, hey man, it's the Trump era and make America great again, and now that people act like this and now it's covered, it's like, hey, this is a normal behavior. You're gonna have the conversations on TikTok and YouTube talking about the same stuff, and people are gonna make excuses or play stupid. Oh, then you're gonna have your black people who are sellouts. They're gonna wait for a crime that has a black person involved and use that crime to be a buffer to ignore this crime. We all know how this plays out over and over and over again. Oh, you're gonna have uh, white people, sometimes Hispanic, sometimes Asians, predominantly white people, who gonna get on the internet and troll this incident and troll this kid dying. Oh, they're gonna enjoy it, and people are gonna bring up it's not a race thing, it's not a racial thing, and people are gonna dig into this cop's past probably, and it is. I wouldn't be surprised if something racial pops up with him. And it's like, oh, and then people are gonna play dumb, and people are gonna ignore it, and people are gonna wait for the next thing to happen. This family is not gonna get any kind of justice. You know, they're probably gonna sue the police department. And the police department is gonna play dumb, and I don't know, we don't know, it's our bad. It's like, they're gonna blame the mother. That's what's gonna happen. With all of these incidents, woman getting arrested for picking up a DoorDash order and her kids in the car. Woman getting arrested for picking up an order of food with her kid in the car. This happens, and then you're gonna get black women like, yo, because now um this thing normally doesn't happen to black women. This type of stuff. But now it's like, oh, this is what y'all doing. Y'all doing this to us black women, and there's gonna be a whole issue with that. Excuse me. Then gotta do it. I'm pausing because of how egregious some of this stuff is to me, but it's just the reality. Then it's gonna be a public issue, public outcry, national story, and 9 times out of 10, they're going it's gonna be a rigged situation. And some people will go, what if the cop goes to jail? Good luck. If the cop, like, if let's just say the cop goes to jail, he might do 2 years. You know, but oh, they're gonna get the black cops. Forgot about that. They're gonna get the black cops to be on the front lines with the black community, like brothers and sisters, and we need to come together as a community. But this stuff doesn't happen in any other community. And some of them black cops gonna go, I'm sick of y'all, and probably some of them gonna sell out, and some of them gonna find the info and leak it. Like, I'm sick of this shit. This is how that goes. If they're gonna say the cop can't go to jail. He's a cop. He's in jail. He's white. Oh my God, he needs to be protected. So what? He shot a baby. Because he's gonna say I was in fear for my life. Yada yada yada. It was a crime, and they find out it wasn't a crime. Well, why were you running from me? Because 9 times out of 10, you know. Oh, let me go forward. There's going to deepen the disrespect of, not even disrespect, but the distancing black people from police. And just like you know the Asian community, you had some people trolling from the Rick Child thing. You had some Hispanics trolling. What was another thing that happened? They was trolling. Sorry. People are going to make excuses for this, and probably somewhere in between now and in the next 2 to 3 months, there's going to be some more egregious stuff happen, and we're going to be right back at it, and it's going to be we're going to get right back to the same issue, and all of this stuff is going to happen over again, all over again. But here's a prediction: because um, because the police have ramped up their harassment. And by the way, Let me add this for a second. If y'all notice, as much as people talk about black people and crime, you notice you see a lot of black people online getting harassed by the police that aren't criminals, doing just regular everyday stuff. Just by the way, I'm going to get some food. I'm going to the grocery store, Walmart, Target. You get what I'm saying? I'm driving from point A to point B. This is what's really going on. You know, that I'm pulling you over. Now I'm gonna arrest you. So now we can search your car. And now that we didn't find nothing, I gotta let you go. I'm sorry. It's not a problem type of situation. So traffic stop. Let me pull my gun out for the traffic stop because I gotta protect myself because you didn't stop the way I wanted you to. It's like, okay. So once again, we're gonna repeat this cycle. Repeat this cycle. Oh, the part I was gonna say was gonna wind up happening is um, since we already know the cops ain't on your side, we already know, non-black people get away with it all. Women and children are definitely targets. You're gonna just start getting people beating y'all ass and going on the offensive because it's like it doesn't matter, and then we're gonna have a whole nother thing. How dare you? Why would you do that? It's like we ain't got time for this shit no more. We ain't got time for it. I'm just because we already know how this is gonna go. And at some point, y'all gonna celebrate this kid dying. Some point, some point, and white America is never gonna take, accountability, responsibility to go. We got a problem. It's gonna always be uh, a diversion. Why is this about race? And why is it this? And why is it that? He's like, okay. And even the black cops gonna come. Matter of fact, at some point, the black cops are gonna get put on Front Street because it's like, once again, black cops ain't out here shooting 1-year-olds. Black cops ain't out here doing the things that y'all are doing. What happens is a lot of you non-black cops get into these situations and y'all call backup and a black cop wind up being there to see this bullshit. And now they just stuck. Oh my God, I back to blue. But, you were there. You were on my side. Whatever, G. But I'm going to leave it at that. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.